therapy session at the end. Today we're going to have a very short opportunity call by Mr. Richard Rogers, and we are very excited about the things that are happening in today. And without any further ado, we're going to have a very short, and here's Richard Rogers.
Hey, Mark, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Richard Rogers. I'm talking to you from just outside of Orlando tonight. On our inauguration, the first anniversary, today is the first date of our soft launch, January 5, 2011. Pretty excited about it. We're putting phone plans out there in the streets, and this is the very first of a lot of really cool, interesting things to happen. If you're on the call tonight because someone told you needed to be here to be able to find out more about O-Life Mobile and how you could create income, how you could save money on your cell phone, grab you a pencil, grab yourself a piece of paper, take some notes. I'm just going to touch the tops. I'm just going to do some highlights. There's going to be more questions that you have than I give you answers. I can promise that. But the person that invited you to this call tonight, that's their job to kind of go in and fill in the gaps for you. So sit back, enjoy yourself, and learn something. And I think you're going to understand what we're so excited about. This collage right here kind of talks about in graphic form what cell phones are used for today. We use them in all forms of business. We use them in recreation. You know, everyone has a cell phone. I can remember back, golly, I guess it was 15 years ago, someone came up to me and asked me if I'd be interested in it at all because I didn't have this vision thing. I didn't see where cell phones were going. Well, today in the United States, there's an awful lot of people on cell phones, but things are changing. And if tonight, if you've got the vision, if you have the perception, the discernment, to be able to understand what's happening and take advantage of it, it's going to change your life. Walt Disney, back in the 60s, this picture on the left is him pointing to a place in Florida we now call Lake Buena Vista. Over on the right is a picture of Walt and his brother Roy when they were acquiring 27,000 acres of swampland in Florida to build this theme park in. And, you know, people, the locals, we laughed at them because you couldn't even raise cows on this property. But some of the locals told him if he would dig some lakes, you could drain the swamp. And, of course, when he dug those lakes and drained the swamp, up jumped Disney. They called him a dreamer. They called him a visionary. And, folks, if you have a little bit of that in you, if you can kind of see where things are going, you're going to get excited about tonight. This article appeared on MSM not very long ago. It says that cell phones are the third most addictive substance in modern life, the cell phone. Wow. The Daytona Beach News Journal ran this article a few months ago. It said, wireless with no swings. The strings are the contracts. You see, when you talk to most people today that's got a cell phone, they have a contract. They have a 2-year contract. They were given a deal on a phone if they would sign this contract. But today, people are finding out there's a better way to do it. Population, according to the census this past year, 308 million people live in the United States. Well, watch this number. It's pretty impressive, too. There's 285,600,000 cell phones in use. That means that 91%, actually a little over 91% of every man, woman, and child inside the United States has a cell phone. They're currently spending over $90 billion every month. Now, remember that number, $90 billion a month, and you're going to understand what it is we're so excited about. Here's a real quick comparison between postpaid or contract and prepaid or O-Life Mobile. Postpaid, credit check, security deposit, 2-year contract, early termination fees, $150 to $350 to pay all those silly taxes, excise taxes, and all those fees. Over on the other side, on the prepaid side, no credit check, no deposit, no contract, no early termination fees, no taxes. You save 20 to 70% when you compare it to what people are paying on contract. And I think that you'll agree it's kind of like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you want to save money? John D. Rockefeller, this guy at his death, was the wealthiest man in the world. And here's what John Rockefeller said. He said, I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. And what he was saying was this, is that if you would, you remember he owned Standard Oil, the Standard Oil stations. He said if you would take people and you would train them, you would work with them, and then you would profit share with them, after you had trained up enough people, all of a sudden your own effort wouldn't be so important. And so you could retire, you could become disabled, you could just quit work because you were just tired of going, and at some point in time you would have created enough income by helping other people that your own income wasn't so important. And as a matter of fact, that's the reason why he is considered the father of the modern day franchise. Speaking of franchise, Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In that book, he's quoted as saying this: many famous franchisees cost $1 million or more. $1 million or more for a franchise. Network marketing is like buying a personal franchise, often for less than $300. And what we're talking about today is certainly a lot less than $300. But ask yourself this question: why do so many billionaires, the wealthiest people in the world, absolutely love MLM, but yet maybe your brother-in-law goes, oh, no, I'd never do that? Well, here, let me explain something to you. Warren Buffett owns Pampered Chef. Warren Buffett's the third wealthiest man in the world. Carlos Slim, the wealthiest man in the world, he passed Warren Buffett. He passed Bill Gates on his way there. He did it with TracFone, prepaid cellular phone, and he's excited the fact that we're carrying his phone for him in an MLM. Donald Trump in the Trump network, he's got his own network. So, people say, well, I don't know if I'd want to do that. Well, maybe the billionaires understand MLM differently. Let me show you one of the things that they do understand, is they understand exponential growth. If you take some of your time and energy and you help train other people to work in your business, helping them, you work with them, you help them create income, and then you profit share back with them, you're leveraging your time. Just like in this illustration, you take 1 penny and you double it every day. At the end of the first week, it's only 64 cents. But at the end of day 30, 1 month, it's over $5 million. This is what the billionaires understand about multi-level. If you don't have it yet, for goodness sakes, keep studying it until you understand it. It will create generational wealth for you and your family. Remember the $90 billion we were talking about a while ago? OLife Mobile will capture, our goal is 5 to 7% of the market share. But when we just get the first 1%, that's $900 million a month, almost $1 billion a month. By the way, did I say we were excited about this? You see, wireless, that is cell phones, they're not a trend. You stop and think with me for a moment. Who do you know that's got a cell phone? Well, let's make a shorter list. Who do you know that doesn't have one? Real short list, huh? Now then imagine this. How long are they going to keep one? Do you think that you personally will use a cell phone next month? How about in 3 months, 6 months, a year? Sure, you're going to have a cell phone. It's not a trend. You see, it's a revolution. And the thing I'm going to suggest that you need to do for you and your family is come join us. I'm going to talk to you briefly about the compensation plan. I'm going to tell you this, that statement across the top, it's the best compensation plan you've ever seen. In order to earn commissions, there's only 2 things you have to do. You must be both active and qualified. Active simply means that you personally do 40 PV, that's points, in the current month, and your own auto ship. Auto ship simply, excuse me, auto ship simply means this, that not only did you do 40 points this month, and by the way, it's about $50, okay? Not only did you do 40 points this month, but you've said, okay, here's my credit card, go ahead and send me next month my auto ship as well. And then, number 2, you to be qualified, you sponsor one IBO, that's independent business owner, who's also active, and we just went through what active is. Congratulations, now you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. The person that invited you to this call is your sponsor. They're responsible for your success. And between them and their upline, you're almost guaranteed that if you'll follow the footsteps of the people ahead of you, you also will be successful. There's 4 separate bonuses that you can qualify for. There's a fast start bonus. It's paid every week. There's a 4x10 matrix bonus that's paid every month. There's an infinity bonus and a global sales bonus. Plus, there's reentry certificates, and the way they work like this. Every time you sponsor 4 people, you get a reentry certificate. This is a 4x10 forced levels matrix. But every single time that you sponsor 4 people, you get another reentry certificate that you get to use at your discretion. You don't have to, but you can. One of the coolest things about this business. So let me explain the compensation plan. At least the first part of it is called the Fast Start Bonus. Once again, you get involved. You'll receive a percentage of the total points, that's PV, on everything purchased for the first 30 days of every one of your newly sponsored IBOs and your customers. So the way it works is like this. First time you sponsor an IBO or you sign up a new customer, you're going to receive a bonus of 25% based on the PV, that is the amount of volume that they spend. The requirement, the minimum, is 40 points. So let's just assume that everyone just does the minimum. Nobody's buying an HTC phone. Nobody's doing anything really wild and crazy. They're just doing the minimums, the 40 points. So 25% of 40 means that you earn $10 for signing that new customer up, that new IBO up. You get paid exactly the same thing for the second person. On the third, it jumps up to 30%. 30% of the 40 becomes 12. You're paid that on numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. On the 7th, you get a raise. It goes to 35% or $14. You're paid that through all the way through the 10th IBO or customer. On the 11th, you get another pay raise. It goes up to 40% and or $16, and it never comes down from there. It's pretty cool. What that simply means is that every single person that you sponsor from now and evermore, you're going to earn 40%. Again, that's paid weekly. Now, the matrix bonus. This is the next one, how it works. People say, well, I don't understand a matrix. When you sponsor a new IBO and they sponsor their IBOs, each one of them are placed into your 4x10 matrix. The system will automatically place them first from left to right and then from top to bottom. So when you sponsor your first person, they'll go all the way over on your left. Now, you remember I said it's a 4x10. If you'll look there, there's 4. That's your A. Next person you sponsor is B, then C, then D. Now, the next person you sponsor creates your spillover. 5th person you sponsor has got to go somewhere, so it goes down in your A leg below him all the way over on the left. Now, let's assume for a moment that your C, the person in your C leg, right there, if they decide to sponsor someone, it would go in their downline on the left, from left to right, and then from top to bottom. Now, let's do the same thing with your B. They sponsor someone and they go there, so then the next person you sponsor obviously would have to go over under your C leg. It's that simple. Starting on the 2nd month and every month thereafter, when IBOs in your matrix activate or purchase products, you'll receive a matrix bonus, provided, once again, you do personal ownership of 40 points and that you sponsored at least one active IBO. If you look down there in the bottom right, it says success begins with 1. Guys, this was created so everyone can make money. You know, there's people that sponsor a lot of people and people that don't. You start making money in O-Life Mobile when you sponsor your very first person. Now, let me just give you an illustration of what the money looks like. If you'll look right here, when you have sponsored your very first person, that's in that column where it says 1 active personally sponsored distributor, APSD. You see that? When you sponsored 1, you're paid 7% of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd levels. With just 1 person, it pays down to the 3rd level. In other words, you've only sponsored 1 person, assuming that everyone, your matrix fills up, everybody's doing a minimum of 40 points, you'll earn $235.20. Pretty cool. Some people say, well, that's not enough money. Okay, let's start over. Let's have you sponsor someone else. So now you're at the 2nd. You've got 2 active personally sponsored distributors. You can see it pays 7% on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way down to the 5th level. And with just having 2 people sponsored, with your matrix filled up to down to 5 levels, you got a total of 1,300 distributors in your group. Assuming they're all just doing the minimum of 40 points, guys, you're making over $3,800 for the month. Not too shabby. By the way, did I tell you we were excited about this? Guys, let me tell you what. There's people that will make that much money in their first month in this business and more. It just depends on your determination, how serious you are about making money in this business. There's a special promotion where you sponsor 4 active IBOs. You put them on auto ship. You do it between now and the end of this month. You'll obtain the title of Global Presidential Director. It includes a 40% fast start bonus. If you remember, it started out 25, 30, 35, and then after the 10th person, it went to 40%. Well, between now and January, if you sponsor 4, it goes to 40%. You're paid down not for 3 levels or 5 levels, but you're paid down all 10 levels into your matrix, and you'll create and you'll earn that income through the month of March. So this is the compensation plan. If you look over here, number 1, where it says fast start bonus, paid weekly. The first one is associate, 25%. That's for sponsoring 1. Director, sponsoring 2. Executive director, sponsoring 3. Global president, executive director sponsoring 6. And global presidential director is supposed to be sponsoring 10. But in this bonus, this new bonus between now and January, you'll earn the title of Global Presidential Director, and you'll be paid 40% of the PV on all fast start, everything spent in the first 30 days, and you'll be paid the Global Presidential Director all the way down all 10 levels, and you'll get that January, February, and all of March. And it gives you between now and then to sponsor the other 6 people to make that Global Presidential Director's position permanent. Tell you a little bit about O-Life. Everybody wants to know, well, who is this company? O-Life is affiliated with several multi-billion-dollar companies in Asia. Grace Electron here in the United States. Han Rigid Plastics, again, here in the United States. Fourplex, our founder, Michael Liao, is also the co-owner of Fourplex. They do $7 billion a year in plastics in North America. They got offices in LA and in Chicago. Fortune magazine rated Formosa Petrochemical at number 323 out of the top 500 companies in the world. They do $85 billion a year. Oh, that's from Mr. Liao's late uncle, Mr. Yang Qingwang. It's still in the family business. It's pretty cool, guys. His first cousin, Sher Wang, owns HTC, you know, the real cool phones, $3.7 billion corporation. So to kind of give you an idea of who O-Life is, we're backed by one of the richest families in all of Asia. There we are right there in the center, Michael Liao, an O-Life. He's also the co-owner of Fourplex we talked about. He's the sole distributor for Swissline, an exclusive cosmetics business in China. Formosa Plastic, Yang Qingwang, his late uncle, HTC, Sher Wang, first cousin, Grace Electron, Mike Liao, and his first cousin, Dr. Winston Wang. So you're talking about a company that's got real deep roots. And here's what O-Life brings to the table. They got a strong financial background, obviously. Considerable sourcing capabilities in order to bring us the very best products. You know, someone said the other day, what kind of phones do you carry? I don't know, HTC maybe. Over 25 years of international business experience allows us to be poised for immediate global expansion. We just opened in Taiwan, guys. We're opening right now in Canada and soon Mexico. I mean, we are poised to just explode. Some of the phones that we have, you know, people say, well, what phone lines do you have? We got phone lines with all of the major carriers, Air Voice through AT&T, Simple Mobile through T-Mobile, Page Plus through Verizon, Virgin Mobile, Sprint, Nextel. Guys, we got the phone plan. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do is get back with the person that invited you to the call, sit down with them and say, I don't understand everything about it, but I do understand the concept. This is going to be big. Here's the question to ask yourself. Who do you know that's got a cell phone? Who do you know that would be interested in saving money on what they're paying for a cell phone? And secondly, would they be interested in an extra $1,000 a month, $1,000 a week, $1,000 a day? Sit down, get with the person that invited you here, get them, ask them some really tough, pointed questions. They'll get you on the line with myself or Mark Kim or some of the other leaders in the business. And guys, we look forward to spending the rest of our lives with you. So there it is. I told you it was the best compensation plan, period.